do love to go through some books as well on our Tuesday. And today we're joined by Mufaro Keith Makoni. He is an author of the book entitled The Prince of the Zambezi Valley. Now, this book, even if you look at it, and even if you listen to it, I mean, if you listen carefully to the title, The Prince of the Zambezi Valley, and if you look at the cover, it's looking very fantasy, kind of mysterious. And it is an African fantasy book, which is something that I haven't really heard a lot of. I haven't seen a lot of our local authors writing African fantasy. But before we get started into your book, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Very, very well, thank you. And now, tell us about this book.
Okay, to begin with, my name is Mufuka. Keith Makoni.
Ah, right, Mufuka, how are you? Sorry for that.
It's okay. This is an African fantasy novel. It's set right in the 1300s to 1500s. The idea was that I wanted to create something unique, something to show that we as Africans, we've got a story to tell, which is along the lines of Harry Potter's, Lord of the Rings, and so forth. Yeah, so I wanted to bring it back home and create a fantasy which our own African children can actually read and enjoy.
Right. Okay. And I mean, being in that space, I mean, when you mentioned Lord of the Rings, I mean, it takes a lot of creative minds to get deep into those avenues. And this is only volume 1, so that means there's like more to come. What kind of space do you need to be into to get into this picture that you have set from the 1300s, years way before?
All right. I've always been very creative. So when I watched all those movies and also reading the stories that we hear, African stories about whether it be Tsuro Nagudo or even just these Nganos, you'd get some of those perspectives, some of those fantasies which are spoken about. But we never got an avenue to actually relay those fantasies so that people can get to experience them. So in writing this novel, I drew from those and also from just what we watch on TV and so forth, and I created this historical world which just shows how we can actually, our African culture can actually get into those experiences.
That's good. I mean, you talk about all these stories that we grew up listening to, Natsuru Nagudo. Yes, I remember all of that stuff. But what other themes are you exploring in this book?
Okay, I think the main theme is about our heritage, our culture. It shows, first of all, it's set like along the Zambezi Valley. So Victoria Falls is shown there. And also the cultures of the Tonga, the cultures of the Nambia and so forth, they're also shown in that in the novel. And also the main theme I want to highlight was the issue of Hunu. Hunuism, which is part of our identity as African people, is part of as Shona or Ndebele. So in the novel, there's a lot of magic, a lot of so much magic. So the protagonist has to meander through that system of power and remain grounded on the issue of Hunu.
Of Hunuwedu and our culture and our traditions. Exactly. I mean, you mentioned Victoria Falls. Is that the only place that we see? Or are you going through Mashingo or Mutare? Or?
No, it's set, like I said, set along the Zambezi.
Along the Zambezi, yes, so it's that side of... Yeah. Okay. So who's the main character of this book?
Okay, the main character is called Tino.
Okay.
He's a 14-year-old boy. Reason why... most of our African children, most of Zimbabwean children, all over, they're not reading a lot. So I wanted to create a hero status for who school children
will look up to.
Yeah, will look up to, and able to emulate and able to look up to. So Tino is someone who's experiencing what normal teenagers experience. So he's getting initiated into adulthood. When he's doing that, there's so many choices he has to make. There's so many obstacles and challenges he's going to face. So all of these children in this age can be able to identify with.
So, I mean, does he? What else does he do? Is he like he's a hero? Does he go through? You know, I mean, you spoke about black magic.
Yes.
Throughout the whole book.
Yes.
Is he involved in some of it, or does he figure out, or does he help? What does he do pertaining to that?
Okay. Without
Yeah, obviously preempting, yeah.
Yeah. The kingdom itself, known as the Jangwe, has got so many of this black magic, and it wants to conquer other kingdoms,
Right.
The Tonga and the Chirundu. So Tino gets to experience the dark side of that magic, and he has to make a choice whether he goes through with what is prevailing in the culture, or he has to make his own way to fight that system.
Right.
Yes.
Right. That's exciting stuff. What challenges did you face writing all of this? It just looks like it's a lot of thought. You know, what challenges did you face producing this book?
I don't think I met many challenges. Maybe the fact that I've never been to Victoria Falls.
Oh, right. You had to imagine it.
Yeah, I just had to imagine the whole thing, because there's a time when the three boys have to jump off like the Victoria Falls into the gorge. I had to imagine the whole experience.
Wow.
So I think that's the main challenge I faced.
Okay. And what kind of personal experiences do you put any personal experiences in, or it's just purely fiction?
Apart from the issue of Wuno, like
Okay.
I spoke of, then I don't think there are any
personal things
Yeah,
in there.
no.
That's exciting. It should be an exciting read. And obviously, this is like your debut book.
Yes, it is.
And it says here it's volume 1. So now, as I said before, even when you did mention the issue of Lord of the Rings, I mean, we have a whole series of that. Are you planning on writing more of the same story?
Yes, I do. The story progresses along the Zambezi Valley. The first part is set in the Jangwe kingdom. Then the second part is going to be in the Tonga kingdom, and the third part in the third kingdom.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's. How long did it take you to write this book?
Well, when I started it, it was just I was writing for my young brother. Just as something so that he could read, to keep him interested in reading. So I started around 2012. So as a hobby, I'm a teacher by the way, professionally.
Okay.
So I was just taking it as a hobby, bit by bit, until the last 2 years. I just said, no, let me get this published. Then I just finalized it, and I got it to my publisher, Zimbabwe Publishers, and they did it.
And they did it for you, hey?
Yes, yeah.
This is a great achievement. Have you done a book launch for it yet?
Not yet.
Not yet, eh?
Yes.
Now we're looking forward to this. I mean, obviously, reading the whole thing, it's incredible. You've written, how many chapters are in here? You did mention that, in Zimbabweans, we're not really readers.
Yes.
And now you've written so many chapters, we have to pray, oh my God, I hope people are going to read the book.
Yeah, true that.
How do you plan on changing this narrative that people are always Zimbabweans don't read?
Like I said, I think the issue is about the type of books which were being published,
Okay.
especially by Zimbabweans. Most of them were just so painful, so dark and so forth. At least if we get to publish stories which teenagers like to see on TV or cartoons, we'll be able to get more readership from them. Fantasies and stuff like that. I think it will actually invite them to start reading.
And obviously, because you are a teacher, these are the stats you know.
Yeah.
you do know. Are you going to use this book as maybe curriculum at some point? Is it curriculum worthy?
I think it is. I hope it will be taken up as part of the curriculum.
Yeah.
Because the whole idea, like I said, is so that we get we engage the school going.
Yeah, so that they don't forget the identity as well. Because I really feel like there's a lot of westernized in our children, so that we just don't forget our identities as people. Because I do see that you mentioned a lot. There's a lot of names, Shona names in this book.
Yeah, there's no English. It's all written in the 1300s. I did that intentionally so that there's no Eurocentric themes, no Eurocentric ideas. And it's just pure African.
Yeah, and it's reading well. It's looking well in some of the little phrases that I have read. Okay. But where do we find you on social media? Just quickly before we wrap up. Okay,
I'm on Facebook. And then also on Instagram.
Okay, your name on that is?
MK Makoni.
MK Makoni.
Yes.
So we find MK Makoni, and he has written this incredible book. And at the end of the day, please let's support our local content. That